Hey everyone, and welcome to another unboxing video. And I got a great big airplane here on the bench. And if you're looking at this thing and you're saying, wait a minute, Brian, this is not a warbird, this isn't even a scale civilian plane. What the world is this great big Habu jet doing on your bench? Well, this is the latest generation trainer from E-flite. And the reason why I have the latest generation trainer here on the bench, which is this Habu STS 70mm EDF, is because we're going to be launching a brand new YouTube series called the RC Flight School. I'm going to be taking a student pilot all the way through ground school, through real flight 9.5, and then all the way up to soloing with this very aircraft right here. And of course, this airplane here is available to fly in real flight 9.5. So that's why it is here today. So you're right, it's not a warbird, it's not a scale civilian plane, it is something totally different. And this here is actually the ready to fly version, because we're trying to do everything we can to mimic exactly what it would be like for a new person learning how to fly an RC plane, how to teach them the basics, how to learn using the flight simulator, and then ultimately getting to a point where they can fly with an instructor, a Horizon instructor with this aircraft, and solo it. So I'm very excited to be part of this project. Special thanks to my friends over at Horizon Hobby for really helping to make this project come to life. You'll be seeing more on this RC Flight School coming up, so by all means, make sure you subscribe, and you'll be keeping an eye out for a playlist that's going to be dedicated to that. But one of the main pieces of equipment to make this flight school happen is this Habu. And the thing that's crazy about this is that a few years ago, if you would have told me that you could learn to fly an RC plane using an EDF, I would have laughed at you and said, there's absolutely no way. You need a prop plane to do that. You need something with propeller, high wing. The last thing you would ever want to fly is a low wing EDF. That's just not how we learn to fly. Well, E-flite has found a way to make that happen. They've taken the Habu airframe, they've optimized the design, they've made it far more user-friendly for a beginner. They installed, it's got its very own flight controller, it comes with SAFE, it comes with AS3X, and it even comes with an optional landing sensor that actually helps the aircraft flare on final approach to make your landings really, really nice. So they've done a lot of great work on this aircraft. It also includes some oversized tires and some thick landing gear struts, so it really will operate well off grass. The RC Flight School will be done at a grass airstrip. We're going to be using the Grand Haven RC Flying Club's field, which is a grass strip. So this aircraft is really going to be well suited for that. I have flown it in real flight 9.5, and I can say it is a fantastic flying model. I have never flown the real one, so when this one finally gets out of the box and we get it assembled, I am going to spend some time flying this thing as well, so I can try to learn a little bit more from it. I'm kind of excited. It's a very different aircraft than what I am used to. We're not going to be repainting it. We're not going to be detailing it, weathering it, and doing all that kind of stuff. We're going to get this out of the box. We're going to charge up some batteries, and we're going to go fly it. We're not doing anything else to it. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start taking it out of the box here and then kind of talk about some of the specifics of this Habu 70mm STS 70mm EDF. All right, let's go ahead and let's get it out, shall we? All right, so we have the outer box removed, and I definitely have to say, give yourselves a pretty good area to work in here. The aircraft is actually pretty big. The box is much larger than I would have expected. I would imagine that you're going to want to make sure you have plenty of room to take this thing out and actually work on it here. This table's a little small for what we're doing, but we're going to make this work regardless. So this is, as I mentioned before, this is the ready-to-fly model. So the ready-to-fly model comes with not only the aircraft, but it comes with a battery. It comes with a flight battery. It comes with a battery for the transmitter. It comes with a transmitter. There's a charger also in here, so we'll talk about that as we get everything out. But this includes everything needed to get out and go fly the aircraft. It's a one-stop shop. You could go to your hobby shop. You could go to Horizon Hobby. You could buy this aircraft, take it to the field, And with a little bit of assembly and, you know, check the center of gravity, things like that, you can be in the air. You don't have to buy another receiver or another transmitter. You don't have to buy a charger. You don't have to buy batteries. It's all included right here. That's one thing I love about these ready-to-fly models. It's everything you need to get started. That's how I got started. I started with, actually I had 3 different ready-to-fly models until I finally was able to make that jump into a programmable radio and start adding onto my hanger. But this is a fantastic way to get into the hobby. The Habu is not available as a bind and fly model. You either get it as a plug and play, the PMP models, you got to supply your own receiver, or as a ready to fly version. And that's done really because this is a trainer aircraft, and to really take advantage of all the features that come with the trainer aircraft, you really need the RTF version that comes with the telemetry, it comes with the flight controller, it comes with SAFE, it comes with AS3X, it's everything that you really need. This in a bind and fly model may not be nearly as suitable as it is as a trainer. There's plenty of other EDFs out there that are bind and flies if that's what you're into. This is just a fantastic trainer plane, and that's exactly what we're going to be using it for in the RC Flight School. So with that said, let's go ahead and continue getting things out of the box here. There is stuff on the bottom, I can feel it, so let me just take a look at what that is. And that is the manual, the flight manual's on the very bottom. So we'll get that out last. So let's go ahead and get to the fun stuff first. If you know from my other unboxing videos, I would always recommend cutting this, the taped pieces, get them out of the way first, because what usually happens, that tape will find a way to stick to the fuselage and damage it. So we'll start here with, we have some AA batteries. I don't know the name of these guys, who makes these. It's an interesting name on here. I would recommend, I actually use the Energizer, I think they're the lithium batteries. They're the silver and blue Energizers. That's what I use in my transmitter. They last quite a while. I can get almost through the entire flying season with just 4 batteries. So yes, you can fly with exactly these, but I would recommend get it moving over to a higher quality battery. I use an Energizer, I've used Duracell, but I would use something a little bit more robust in the transmitter. But if you bought this and went to the field, you can most certainly fly with these guys here. Speaking of batteries, the next thing we're going to get out here is the smart battery that comes with the aircraft. This is a 4,000 milliamp 3S battery. It's their new Spektrum Smart series battery. And the thing I love about these is they will automatically discharge to storage voltage after about a week. So if you charge up your planes and the weather all of a sudden turns crappy, you're not going to get out to the field for a while, and you forget that you need to discharge your batteries, these will automatically do it. That's a great feature, because I'll tell you, there's nothing more boring than discharging all your lipos when the weather turns bad. So we'll set this off to the side. I will note that it comes with a 3S battery, and 3S batteries is exactly what I'd recommend for a training program. That's exactly what we're going to use in this airplane for the RC Flight School. But for those of you guys who are getting a little bit more serious and you want to continually use this Habu to evolve your flight skills, the Habu will fly on 4S as well. No modifications needed. You just go to a 4S battery instead of a 3S, and your power is going to go up dramatically. Would I start a student out with 4S? Absolutely not. We're going to fly 3S only. Okay, we got some small parts over here. Let's go ahead and dig these out. What do we got? Oh, this is the, we got a USB thing in here. I got to look exactly what this, oh, it's the dongle. I bet, yes. So a really cool feature. I didn't know if this was going to have it or not, so I'm really happy that it does. This comes with a downloadable code for, I believe it's Steam, in which you can get RealFlight 9.5. This is the dongle that will connect your transmitter to your computer. So if you buy this model, it will come with a code that you can fly this exact plane in RealFlight 9.5 before you ever get to the field. So if you want to brush up on those skills a little bit, this is a great way to do it. I knew that was a limited time offer when it came out, so I did not know if this aircraft was going to include that code or not. It does, and this is the USB dongle that you will need to connect the transmitter to your computer to fly RealFlight. So also in here we have the plastic, some plastic bits here. We have the tail cone here that will go on the back of the aircraft. Things are still kind of taped together here, so hold on a second. All right, next up, I had to get the tape removed here. This little guy here is, would you believe this? This is the smart charger right here. This is all that's going to be needed to charge the battery. It comes with a USB plug, so you can you plug one end into the charger, the other into a USB power device, and you put the battery on this end, and this will charge the battery. So like I said, the ready to fly version comes with everything you need. You don't need to go buy a charger. You don't have to go buy a battery. It's all right here. So very cool little feature. I'll tell you, the stuff has come so far along from the ready to fly stuff I had a decade ago. You know, the charger was nothing anywhere close to this. So we'll go ahead and set this off to the side. Gonna kind of have to expand my work area out here a little bit. There is a lot of pieces and parts here. It's not overwhelming, but it's a big aircraft on a small table, so I gotta move some stuff around. So in this bag here, we have our hardware, we have our landing gear, and the landing gear also comes with a servo already installed. This is the nose gear servo that does the steering for you. It's a good idea to make sure you check your alignment of the nose gear before you head to the field. You want to make sure that the nose gear and the rudder and everything is straight. So you make your adjustment right here on the clevis. But otherwise, these are yeah, little pieces of hardware. It looks like just a few screws is all that's needed to put this aircraft together. So it's not going to be a major deal to put this together if you're a new pilot. In fact, we're probably going to have the student help put this aircraft together. That way he kind of gets used to handling the airplane, gets used to all the different pieces, and gets a little bit more of an understanding of how the aircraft is put together. All right, so the wing is actually taped in over on this side here. So just be aware of that. You don't want to start pulling stuff out and damage anything. So here we have the wing section. It's a one-piece wing. Comes with the servos already installed. It's got these nice covers, plastic covers over the servos. So if you are going to use this as a belly lander, you got some nice protection here from the servos so they don't get damaged on the grass. Inside this little piece here that I just removed, this is, I believe this is where the landing sensor will go. It's just held in with a little clip. That's not here yet. We will be getting that shortly. It's on order, but it's just hasn't arrived yet. So when it does arrive, we'll talk about installing that. And you can see it's got some pin connectors here where that will connect into the aircraft. So I'm excited to try that that landing sensor out because I've done it in real flight and it works really, really well. I'm excited to try it in real life. So we'll take a look at here. Here's the top half of the wing. It's got this beautiful bright scheme. It's got the white foam, it's got the silver, it's got the red. Should give you great visibility in the air. This is not like one of my warbirds in which, you know, it's camouflaged and it's going to disappear in the air. This thing is meant for high visibility. Otherwise, the foam quality looks really outstanding. I'm not seeing anything of any concern here. Paint finish looks very nice as well. Yeah, so far, very impressed. It's a typical quality you would expect from Horizon Hobby with their aircraft. And even though this is a trainer, they don't skimp out on any of that stuff. This is a well put together. It's a very stiff wing too. I have to say it's remarkably strong. Obviously, it's got some sort of a spar running inside here because this is a very stiff piece of foam. There you get a good idea on the bottom of the wing and the top of the wing. And you can look at it from the side too. And it's got quite a bit of camber. There's a lot of thickness to that wing as well. All right, a few more tape bits here and we can get out the horizontal Stimulator Assembly here. It's really the aft section of the fuselage. It includes both elevators as well as a one servo here that runs the elevator, and then it's got another servo here that's going to be running the rudder, and of course the two servo leads that come out. But yeah, it's very nice. It's all foam construction back here. It's very nicely done. I know the Apprentice has like kind of a laminated structure to it, and that's not like this at all on the Habu. It's a nice airfoil design of the rear of the horizontal stabulator here. But no, everything looks really nice. Servos all pre-installed. These are 13-gram servos. These servos are actually quite a bit bigger than what I'm used to in a lot of my planes. They run just a little 9 grams. So very exciting to see that. There's a lot of durability built into this aircraft, you know, with what they've chosen to outfit it with. Okay, we're starting to run out of pieces here. We have the vertical stabulator here in a bag. Once again, brightly colored here with the silver and the red on there. The rudder, it's not a very big rudder. It's actually pretty small, but it doesn't appear that you really need a large rudder to fly this aircraft. It's not like a B-17 or something that's got a gigantic one on there. Otherwise, yeah, this looks like this will just screw into the fuselage, be an easy install. Looks like 1, 2, 3 screws and you're done. A few more taped in pieces. This has probably got more taped in pieces than any plane I've unboxed in a long time here. So be aware when you're taking it apart that there is a lot of taped pieces in here, and you want to get that tape out of the way because you don't want it to damage the foam. All right. Okay. Here we have the canopy. It even comes with a pilot and an instrument panel, and I don't know if you. To me, that always looked like an F-16 canopy. It looked like you just they took it right out of the right out of the parts bin there, but it's actually shaped quite a bit different when you get it out here in person. But very cool detail. I mean, how many trainer planes come with a clear canopy with a pilot figure inside and a kind of a little detailed cockpit? It's pretty cool. It's a nice little touch. And you know, a lot of people may look at a trainer and you think, it's just some frumpy high wing thing. It's not that cool. The Habu breaks all that mold and says, you know what, you can have a trainer that's a jet. It includes things like a clear windscreen on here. This is not the same trainer that we flew 10, 15 years ago. This is at a whole new level. That's why I'm really excited to get a student on the aircraft and fly it. And it really should be a lot more exciting for a lot of people to fly because, you know, let's be honest, flying around a 3-channel Cub is just not nearly as exciting as flying around an EDF jet. So this should really be popular with a lot of people because these planes used to be so far out of the reach of a lot of student pilots that it took years. In fact, for me, it took me 8 years of flying before I flew an EDF, which is that F-16. So we're going to start a student off right away with an EDF. That's pretty cool. All right, and now we have the fuselage coming out of the box here. Once again, it's got that bright color, that white foam with the silver and red on there, so it should be great for visibility. It's got a rubberized nose cone. That's fantastic because, you know, these things tend to get bumped. So it's nice that they thought about that already, and it flexes and moves around, so if you do bump anything with it, you're not going to break the airplane. It's got a Canopy Release button here, which is great because instead of being a magnetic one that tends to blow off, it's got an actual, say, like a little catch on there. Velcro straps for the batteries are already pre-installed. It does come with the new IC3 connector. This does have telemetry that will actually talk to the radio and transmit battery voltage information. It's got a pre-installed flight controller here. It's the A3230B. So it's a receiver and flight controller unit in one. And it also includes some GPS ports. There's all sorts of stuff that looks like it's expandable on this receiver and flight controller. And that's one thing that makes this ready-to-fly version so unique is the fact that it has this flight controller built into it. Far more advanced than like the Apprentice with SAFE that I started off with. So things are really, the technology has really opened the door for a lot of new stuff. On the bottom, you can see the electronic speed controller is inside here with a heat sink. And then check this out. This thing has got a huge 70mm EDF fan in it. I mean, that's totally cool. I've never flown an EDF that's with this big of a motor before. 64mm is the biggest I've ever flown. So when I fly this one, I will be flying my very first 70mm EDF, and my student who's going to be learning will go from flying nothing to a 70mm EDF. That's going to be pretty impressive. And you know what? It's going to answer the question too. Can this plane really be used as a trainer? There's a lot of comments online of people saying, no, you can't use an EDF as a trainer. Well, we're going to prove them wrong by teaching a student how to fly with an EDF, a 70mm EDF at that. And we're going to prove that it can be successful. And I think we have the very last thing besides the flight manual. We'll just leave that in the bottom for now. I'll get that out later. We have the transmitter. The ready-to-fly version comes with a transmitter. You don't have to buy an expensive programmable one, learn how to program or do anything. This thing comes already bound, ready to rock and roll. Put the batteries in the back, get the batteries in the airplane, and go fly this thing. And what's nice is this really is very similar to my DX6. It feels very similar to it, it's the same look. So as you begin to learn the muscle memory on this DX series, you'll be able to translate that into the DX and NX series transmitters. They have that very similar feel to them and look to them. And so this will be very easy to pick up for the student, and then you kind of continually evolve with. And this will talk to that dongle that we got out in the beginning, so you can use this exact same one as your flight simulator transmitter as well. So you don't have to even worry about buying a flight sim with a kind of a dummy transmitter that can only be used. This time you get to use the exact same one you're going to fly with on the aircraft. In fact, that's probably what we'll end up doing for the RC flight school, just because the button setup on this is slightly different than how I fly my bind and fly models, and I don't want to have the student kind of get mixed up in between the two. But otherwise, I'll just show you the front of it here. Otherwise, throttle and rudder and aileron and elevator, and then a couple switches up in here. I believe the panic switch is probably right here on the back. That's your where the bind switch is. I'll have to look into it a little bit on exactly what all the switches do, just because it's at a different orientation than what I'm used to and how I have my planes with SAFE set up. So I want to make sure that I got it set up correctly for our student pilot. But otherwise, I'm out of pieces, and that's the unboxing video. So I do encourage you, if you are a new pilot getting ready to learn, or you're trying to learn more about the RC hobby, by all means, subscribe and keep an eye out for the RC Flight School videos. They'll be coming out shortly after this unboxing video. And we'll be covering, everything from ground school, basics of flight, learning about an RC plane, types of RC planes, the parts, weather, learning on a flight sim, and then learning with an instructor, all the way up to soloing with this Habu STS. So I encourage you to follow along. We're going to try to cover a lot of information with that, and I'm really excited to when we finally move out of the classroom and move out to the field, because I really want to fly this Habu for myself. It will be the very first 70mm EDF I've ever flown, and we're going to prove that yes, you can take this EDF and you can train a brand new pilot on who's never flown before. You can teach them to fly and solo and be successful with an EDF. So if you guys got any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'm always happy to engage with the audience and answer as many questions as possible.